Okay, in the last class we studied algorithmic solution to critical section problem, right? And where the algorithmic solution is given by Peterson algorithm, right? Algorithm 1, in algorithm 1 we already discussed where we are sharing a common integer variable turn which could have two values, either it will be I or it will be j, right? So if pi, for pi we are testing the value of turn for I, and for pj we are testing the value of turn as a j, right? And after stepwise processing of this algorithm 1, what we understood that this algorithm is providing mutual exclusion only. It is not satisfying rest two conditions requirement for the solution of critical section problem. Okay, let us now understand second algorithm, which is the extended version of this algorithm, where you have replaced turn with flag. Assumptions are you have replaced turn with flag, boolean flag, boolean variable flag I or j, which flag can have two values, either I or j. If flag I is true, that means process pi is ready to enter ready to enter its critical section, right? Now let us write pseudocode and then understand how it is working, right? So for pseudocode for process pi and pj, simple pseudocode it is. Any process which want to enter its critical section, it will first set its flag as true. So in the same way pi will do that. Flag I true. It will first set its flag to true, which signify other processes that I am ready to enter my critical section, right? Now in the second line it will test flag value of other process. If flag of other process is also true, that means it need to wait until and unless flag of other process is false, right? So remember, this is the terminator here, this one. That means we are providing spin lock here, right? That means we are making busy waiting here, right? If this condition falls, that means pi will enter its critical section, right? And after execution of its critical section, process need to set its its flag value as false, so that the while loop can be broken in the pseudocode of other process which is testing the value of flag I for entering its critical section, right? Okay, then reminder section and this while one. Okay, in the same way, write do write flag of j. It will check flag of j because its flag is flag j. It will set its flag to true. Then while it will check flag of I because we are dealing with two process solution, that's why it is they are checking each other's flag. Otherwise it will check next process flag of next process in the line, right? This is the terminator. That means it is also we are creating spin lock. Now if this condition fails, that means while loop will be breaked and this process will come into its critical section, execute it, and after executing its critical section, it will set its own flag, that means flag j, as false, so that other process which is checking the flag of j can break their while loop and enter to their critical section. So this is the second algorithm which Peterson gave for the as a solution of critical section problem, where every process which want to enter its critical section will use boolean boolean variable flag, and it will first set it to true, its own flag as true, so that it will signify other processes that I am ready to enter my critical section, right? And in the next statement, if we say, if let us say here they both are setting their flags, right? In the second one they are checking each other's flags value. Let's say pi is checking flag of pj and pj is checking flag of pi. This is I beta, this is I, right? Each other's flag, so that they can ensure that other process is not performing its critical section, right? So this is the critical point. This is the critical point where any one condition from pi or pj should be breaked. Otherwise, if it is not the case, that means they both will be deadlocked in this spin lock. Except this case, if this is not the case, definitely one of this, either flag j or either flag I, will be false at a time. And definitely if flag j is false, that means process pj, if flag j is false, what it means, it means process pj has completed its critical section, right? Then only you will find the flag j value as a false, otherwise not, right? And if the flag I is false, that what it means, it means simply that pj has completed its critical section and now he has set the flag its flag I value as a false explicitly, right? So understood. So let us analyze. Let us say both process pi and pj started from instruction 1, right? Both executed do next braces and next. At this point both are setting their flags true. Okay, so pi set flag I true and pj set flag j true. That means they are indicating that they both want to enter its critical section, and both are ready to enter its critical section, right? Okay. In the next statement, in the while condition, both are checking the flag of each other. PJ is checking flag of PI is checking flag of PJ. This is PI and this is PJ, right? So both are checking each other's flag value, right? Why? Because they want to ensure that next process or other process is not executing its critical section. That means they are ensuring mutual exclusion here. They are ensuring mutual exclusion, right? So what happens if both are checking each other's while flag value? So in our case, both already already set their flag value as a true. Okay, and if both are pi and pj are at the second statement where they are checking each other's flag, definitely they both will be deadlocked at the same time. If they check while loop condition at the same time, definitely they will get spin lock there. There will be spin lock for both the cases. Why? Because flag I will be true, because flag sorry, for pi flag j will be true because pj already set flag j true in the first statement here, right? So he will get flag j as a true, and definitely it will be locked. It will be spin locked. Why? Because it is a infinite loop. Until and unless flag j is not false, it will not break, and it will and if it is not break, that means it will not get its critical section. In the same way, pj will check value of flag I. Okay, now value of flag I, let us it is creating confusion. Let us make it clear first. Now pj is also checking flag value of flag I, and what it is getting, flag I is true, because in the first statement pi already set it as a true. Now see, at this point in time, let's say t1 time, at this point in time both are checking each other's flag, and definitely flag value of both will be true. And why? Because both are still not completed their critical section, or it is not getting their critical section still not, so they both will be deadlocked here. That's the problem with this algorithm. This is the drawback of this algorithm, right? So let us check other case where process pi and process pj comes after one other each other, right? Let's say pi came first, and pi requested critical section first. So that means if pi came at t0 and pj came at t1. Now understand, pi will set its flag I values true. Okay, next it will check flag j as a false, and definitely it will get flag j value false. Why? Because till now pj has not requested, or pj has not set its value, its flag value as a true. That's why it will get its value as a false. Why? Because when we start our algorithm, pi and pj will be externally set as false. That means both are neutral, both none of them are requesting critical section, right? So initially both value will be false. Okay, now if pi came first, that means flag I is already set it to true, but flag j is still not set into value true, right? That's why in the while loop pj will break the while loop, because flag j, it will find flag j as a false, and it will get its critical section, get into the critical section, right? Now check, after 1 second difference, if at any time pj will do that, flag I, pj will check flag i's value for for falseness, right? It will check while flag I is true, and until it is getting true, that means it will be logged in spin lock, which we have provided using infinite while loop, right? And until and unless this process, because pi already entered to its critical section, and until and unless it will not complete its critical section, it will not set flag i's value false, and definitely this break will be not breaked, this loop will be not breaked, and this will not get into the critical section, right? That means if any one process in what it means that any one process, either pi or pj, if both are want to execute their critical section, either they will be deadlocked, or any one of them, either pi or pj, will get critical section first, and whoever will get the critical section first, and until and unless it will not complete its critical section, next process pj or pi will have to wait until and unless he has not set its flag value to the false, right? I think you understood this the point. But same case as the previous one, this algorithm is providing mutual exclusion, right? Mutual exclusion is providing, but progress is not happening here. Progress is not happening here. That's why this algorithm also fails as a solution of critical section problem. Now, what after that, Peterson extended this algorithm and use and combine these both algorithm, and created a next algorithm, which is called algorithm 3. Algorithm 3, which is a combination of algorithm 1 and algorithm 2. Now what he did is simply used a boolean variable flag and integer variable turn, and initially flag is set it to false. Now let's check out pseudocode for the same. Remember, write this pseudocode in the clear manner, because this is the important one. All books will not give you all three algorithm, they will show you only third algorithm. But old edition of the book, Galvin, will show you all three algorithms, so that you will understand it very clearly. So this is the final algorithm which Peterson gave as a solution of critical section problem, right? So now understand it. Every process which want to enter its critical section need to do these three tasks first at entry section. It needs to set its own flag as true, one thing. Next, it's need to set turn for other process, and it needs to check these two conditions: flag of other process as well as value of turn for other process. Write your code very clearly because it is infinite loop. If you forgot this terminator, that means your code will not write. Now after these three conditions, if all these if third condition is breaked, while loop is breaked, then only that particular process will enter its into the its critical section, right? After completion of its critical section, that particular process needs to set its own flag as false. Why so? Because that means what PI is declaring, it is declaring that I have completed my critical section. Now if PJ want to enter its critical section, it can do so by testing the value of flag I, and if the flag I PJ is getting flag I value as a false, that means while loop in the third line, the while loop of that PJ will be breaked, and definitely it will get chance to execute its critical section, right? And after that, process will execute its remainder section, and either after that it will be terminated, or it will request again its critical section, right? In the same way, in the same way just a wait minute. In the same way, we can write code for PJ, where at the first line it will set its flag value true, which signify other process that PJ is ready to enter its critical section, right? In the second statement, what it will do, it will set turns value as to the I, so that what it is doing here, it is simply signifying that I am ready to enter my critical section, and after me PI is allowed to enter its critical section. That means turn is the variable turn is simply defining the turn of process which is now allowed to enter its critical section, right? Okay, that means it's simply declaring that I am ready to enter my critical section, and if I got the chance to execute my critical section, after completion of my critical section, the chance will be given to PJ only. Next process means PI, right? That's why it is setting turns value to I. Now in the third statement, it will, in the same way like PI did, it will check flag, because it is PJ process, that means it will check flag I, other process flag, and turn value for other process which is I, and in the same way it will critical section, flag, after executing its critical section, it will set its own flag as false, so that this loop of other process, means ith process, will be breaked and he will get its critical section. Okay, so now understand it. This is the pseudocode for the two processes PI and PJ, and this is the final algorithm Peterson gave. Two process solution Peterson gave. Let us check its validity on those three parameters. Which all these parameters are were? First is mutual exclusion, second is progress, and third will bounded waiting. Mutual exclusion is happening here. You can understand it, that mutual exclusion is happening here using these two variables, flag I and flag variable or turn variable. So as you already understood in the previous cases, due to these variables mutual exclusion is provided, right? Now come to the other process. Now let us check the condition. Let me change the color. Now check the conditions. Let us say if both processes want to enter their critical section at the same time, right? That means both will execute these two statements at the same time. That means flag I and flag j will be true after this statement, right? After this first statement, right? Okay, now both are setting. Now let's say at the second statement both will set turns value for each other. Now this is the point where you need to check. Pi and Pj both are setting value of a common variable turn at the same time for two different values. That means it will not happen. Definitely there will be a gap of nanoseconds or picoseconds, right? So definitely there will only one value will persist in the system. Either turn value will be j or either turn value will be I. That means turn value is defining turn value of turn will be only one. Either it will be I, either it will be j. It cannot be I and j at the same time, right? So what turn is doing? Turn is defining which process will get critical section, right? So definitely if both the processes tries to assign different values to the turn, and definitely the system will take up only one value. Either it will set turn equals to j or it will set turn equals to I. Whatever the case, let's say it will set turn as a j. That means if it accepted turn's value as a j, that means this instruction has been completed, right? And at the third step, at the third point, at the third line, what we are assuming, in the second line, what we are assuming, turn is now setted as j, right? Now at the third point, if both will check their while loop. Now let us, what happens when pi will check its while loop? What it is doing, it is checking the value of flag j and turn value of turn, right? So flag of j is true, yes, it is true, and turn is equals to j. Turn is equals to j. that means turns value it is checking for j. That means it is right, it is true because it already set it. Now what is happening, it is true, it is true, both are true. That means this whole condition will be true and this pi will be logged in busy waiting or spin log. Now what happens, what is happening here? Now check the while loop of pj. pj is checking flag I. Flag I is true. Yes, it is true because it has done here. Flag I is true. Okay, that means it is true. And turns value is equals to I. No, it is false because we assumed that system has accepted turns value as j. So this condition will be failed. Turn is equals to I. That means this whole condition will be false. And if once it is false, that means it will break, and it will break, that means pj will get its critical section, right? Now pj has entered its critical section, right? So whatever the turns value system will accept, if it is accepting turns value as I, that means pi is allowed for critical section. If it is j, that means pj is allowed, right? So as we already saw that only one process is entering its critical section and other is other is logged in spin lock condition, which is in statement 3 where while loop is happening. So that means mutual exclusion is provided, right? So that means mutual exclusion is provided in using this solution. After, now check, after once pj completed its critical section, what it will do, it will simply set its flag j to false. Now it is setting flag j to false externally. Now what happens? Once if it set flag j value false, that means you are breaking this true condition. That means pj is breaking this flag j condition, this true condition here in the while loop. That means while loop of pi is breaking now. Once it's set, because we are assuming that pi is spin lock here, and until and unless this complete condition will be false, it will not break. And now check at this statement number, let's say 4. Pj is setting its flag j as a false. It is assigning false value. What it means, now at this time when pi will check flag j value, it will get false. That means this condition will get false. And once it is false, that means this whole condition will be false, because false and true will be false. False ending with true, that means false. That means it will break while loop and it will enter to its critical section. What it is doing, here simply progress matter. That means one after another they are getting the chance of critical section, right? That means bounded wait is happening. And let us understand progress, how progress is happening. See, after completing its critical section, pj has given the chance to pi, and let us understand it is executing its critical section. It is executing its remainder section, and let's say it is taking 10 seconds here, let us say, and in this 10 second it has completed its critical section. That means it has set it flag I to false, flag I to false, right? Now it is set it flag I to false. That means it is giving the chance to flag J, process J. But what we are assuming that process J is still in remainder section, right? Now it has completed its remainder section before 10 seconds, right? Now after in between in 10 seconds it want to again access its critical section, right? Now till now turns value is still turns value is still J, right? And if it is in PJ is in critical section, right? Remainder section is still in remainder section. We are discussing about progress matter, right? So 10 second in between, PJ is here only, PJ is here only in the remainder section. And when it is in remainder section in between, PI has completed its critical section, its remainder section, and come back to ask for again critical section. Now check if it is allowed to or not. Now what it will do before entering its critical section, it will set its flag I to true. Okay, no problem. After that it will set turns value to J. Okay, there is no problem. Now before entering to critical section, it will execute its while loop. Now check while flag J, it is checking the value of flag J. What it means, it is checking the value of flag J, and flag J is still false because he is in remainder section. That means he has not set flag J, still not set flag J as a true. That means he will get, PI will get flag J false. And if this is false, that means this whole condition will be false, and that means it can allowed to enter its critical section, right? So that means this process PJ is not stopping any other process to execute its critical section in between until and unless it is not demanding its critical section. That means the process which is in remainder section is not contributing to the decision that the next process will get their critical section or not. That means progress is happening. If it is in remainder section, progress is happening. If PJ is not demanding its critical section, PI is allowed indefinite times to get its critical section. That means progress is happening. And one after another, if they both are fighting for critical section, then one after another they will get their critical section one after another. That means bounded waiting is also there. So this solution is providing, this solution is meeting all the criteria for solution for solution of critical section problem. So now you understood that these three conditions, if these three conditions or requirements will be fulfilled for any solution, that means that particular solution will be recognized as a ideal solution for critical section problem. So that means mutual exclusion, progress, and bounded weight, both three conditions or requirements should be fulfilled by any solution given by any programmer or any developer. Need to ensure these three conditions to be solution for critical section problem. So I think this I made this clear to you that third algorithm is providing or fulfilling all three requirements of of solution of critical section problem. So that's all guys for today. Thank you all.